could ask you to dance, and you could say, well, I don't feel like dancing.
Carl, the fun's over. After Pike met Looney at the river where he learned to swim, the two became very tight close friends, and Looney, being the brave one, helped Pike overcome some of his fears. One day, when they got a chance to go to an ocean, they saw people surfing. This was the most beautiful thing they had ever seen in their lives, so they made it their mission to learn surfing since they were already good at swimming, but they didn't have money to buy themselves surfboards. So they started with co-lights, but after some time, they realized that co-lights were not good enough. So they started looking for jobs all over town to raise money to at least buy old surfboards. They became obsessed with surfing, and one day, after observing them for quite some time, a middle-aged man called Sando offered them a lift back. And they told him that they had their bicycles up the mountain, so he took them there and also gave them the offer to keep their boards at his place since it was a long way from the ocean to their homes, and he gave them directions. Because riding their bikes with the surfboards was a bit hard, they decided to take them to Sando's place. And they didn't find there anybody but left the boards behind. And the next time they went to pick them up, they ran into Eva, Sando's wife, who first thought they were thieves before they explained to her the whole situation. Even though the water waves were different on that day, they still went surfing because they didn't know any better, because it was dangerous for beginners like them without a guide. They took back the boards to Sando's place. As time went on, Sando started connecting with the boys for the love of surfing. He taught them things they didn't know, and he would drop them back to their homes. But the wife was pissed at him for hanging around with kids. She called it, so what she did, she put boxes of old magazines that had Sando on the front cover as a surfing champion from 1968 to the 70s, because she knew that when Pike and Looney found out, it would piss him off, though we don't know why. When Pike and Looney got there the next time, they found the magazines. They were surprised, and when Sando found them, he ran into an argument with his wife Eva because he knew that it was her who put the boxes where they didn't belong. After he drove the guys back to their homes and promised to take them to a secret place the next morning. Sando took them to a place that had many waves the next day as he promised, and the one thing they wished for was that they had a camera to capture their moments, which they didn't. He kept training them for free because of the love of the game he had, showing them what to do and when to do it, which his wife didn't want at all. One day Pike went to Sando's place to check on him, but he missed him by minutes. And it was Eva left there alone resting on the balcony. He saw a big scar on her knee, and when he asked what happened to her, she was like she had an accident while skiing. They had a little talk and then he left, and after some time, Sando told him that she had left for Utah for an operation on her knee. When Pike asked how she could stand it where they were without snow, Sando was like it was her idea to stay away from snow areas if she could not keep skiing, just like he wouldn't be near an ocean if he could not surf. The more Pike and Looney kept going to Sando's place, the more his wife hated it, and she was like she didn't want them there when she got back from the surgery, so he asked them to leave politely. After a while, they started surfing again, but unfortunately, Looney had damaged his hand. So he refused to go with them in the same truck, feeling bad about it, but still followed them to see them surf one of the biggest waves. Which, by the way, Pike was scared of, but went anyway with Sando's encouragement. Months later, on their next big surf, Pike got scared, so he didn't join them, but rather just watched them surf, and a while later, after feeling bad about it, he went to check on Sando only to find out that he took Looney without him to Indonesia to do surfing. Given the fact that it was raining and Pike was hurt with Eva having been left alone in the house for quite some time, she used it to her advantage. This went on for days, with Pike using any opportunity he would get that. He even broke up with his girlfriend at school after he had fallen in love with Eva. He chopped more wood than he ever imagined because he wanted to impress her. She introduced him to new things until one day, when he asked who the father of the baby she was expecting was, she immediately asked him to leave and never come back. He tried to take his life going for the most dangerous wave on the ocean, and by God's mercy he survived. Later on, Sando and Looney got back. Sando told him how he was going to be a father, and the next time he was taking them out later for surfing. Pike opened up to him that surfing was not his thing, and years later,